For once in sneakers in 2025, I don't feel crazy. And I'm talking about the brand new Sneaker Politics Asics campaign that drops this week, first week of March. And if you haven't heard of it, it's okay, but just say no. Just those three simple words say everything about this campaign. And trust me, it feels like I may have written this myself, but I certainly didn't. I have zero to do with it. I'm just really excited to see a conscientious consumer approach to just a campaign in general, but within sneakers. So let's just go ahead and read up on it real fast. On House of Heat, and they even touch on that as House of Heat. Like, we can only exist if you all are buying sneakers, right? That's why I don't take this approach. Everyone just needs to stop buying sneakers. It doesn't. I have friends and people I care about that work within this industry. If people aren't buying sneakers, guess what? That's pretty detrimental and terrible for a lot of people's livelihoods. So that's never the case. They said, and yet it's important to remind you to be mindful of your spending habits. Just so proud. But all jokes aside, they go on to say, with this Gel Kayano 14 project, the phrase politics wants you to stop buying sneakers is the focus. And more importantly, they are very explicit in saying, important to say no to buying certain sneakers in order to reflect on oneself and not fall victim to empty trends. Peer pressure in person and across social media is a very real thing. I feel like we've spoken about that on this channel, have we not? And it's played countless consumers, push them to spend their or their loved ones' hard-earned money on sneakers they won't get the complete value out of. Sometimes you just have to be patient and you will be vindicated. You will. And there will be tons of people, of course, that they don't get the joke. And yes, I'm being facetious, but this still feels amazing because this is what I talk about all the time on my channel, especially in 2025. I am never here to tell you do not buy sneakers, okay? I am here to say, hey, take into account a number of different things. One is absolutely your financial stability. Some people are not in stable positions financially with their money. They're not. Cash flow is not where it should be. They have current credit card debt. That is high interest consumer debt. That is some of the worst debt that you can have. And yet they're still out here chasing every single sneaker left and right every day. And some of that is based on the peer pressure they have from those around them. They're constantly seeing every new sneaker coming out in the blogs. And yes, you're going to connect with these stories, which also means you're going to need to be disciplined to not put yourself in a very uncomfortable situation even further with your money. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Also, take into account the space that you have, okay? Once you run out of space in your actual home, you then are likely going to need to make the decision, do I start to get rid of shoes? Do I just stop buying? Or do I pay additional overhead to house shoes that I'm clearly not wearing every day or even on a consistent basis unless you're making a lot of frequent trips to that storage unit? Also, be careful when doing that because you could set yourself up to actually, be taken advantage of and possibly robbed. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Just be mindful of the influences that are happening around you. Your own wear behavior is a thing, right? We have buying behavior and your wear behavior and what works with your lifestyle. That's it. I think it's important to always keep those things in mind. So I love that Sneaker Politics is doing this. Like, you have a fan in me of this. Now, I will say the one funny and ironic thing in this campaign, they talk about, right, like trends, like don't fall into the trap of the trends. If we're being real, the Asics Gel Kayano 14 is very trendy right now. That's just something I wanted to point out, okay? I don't think that takes anything away from this. I don't, but they just said the campaign sparks meaningful conversations about the importance of making thoughtful choices and staying true to personal style. It's a movement that instills strength, a resilience, and a commitment to building a more conscious, trend-free sneaker future for generations to come. Again, I love the Just Say No campaign. This is speaking to me. It really is. Now, again, I know people are going to say, are you going to go out and get it? No, because they actually are saying they don't necessarily want you to go out and buy that sneaker. It's not to push you, to influence you to go out and buy that specific sneaker, but to just have some introspection occur. And that is all I've been trying to do here on this page. So let's move on to my second topic for this video. Can we start to unpack what is it that triggers people where if I choose to share, there are certain things I'm no longer willing to do, or I simply have never been willing to do in relation to, and we'll just keep it sneakers, in relation to a sneaker. What triggers someone to think that I have imposed, I guess, those restrictions on them, in which now something is wrong with them choosing to do the very things I don't want to do? And I'll just go ahead and make sure this comment is thrown up on here because the last part is comical that it's being fake. Listen, The only thing that would be fake of me would be to get up here where I currently am in my sneaker journey and to hype up every single release just because everyone else is doing it and telling you that you need to have it and it's a must have and don't sleep. When I am not genuinely interested in actually adding these sneakers to my collection, but I can appreciate them for what they are, and I cheer all of you on to still get the shoes that you want within reason and to make sure that is within your monthly budget. That would be fake of me to go against everything of what I actually think and feel on a consistent basis right now in relation to sneakers. I sleep great at night, knowing that I am true to myself in sneakers and what I feel in my perspective on all of my platforms on social media. I sleep amazing at night knowing that. So I also never discourage anyone if whatever I'm saying doesn't rock or doesn't vibe with you anymore on my channel, because no, I'm not buying every and any sneaker that I simply want like I did in the past. Guess what? I've been able to do that with my money. Easily. Fund it by myself. Easily. Without an ounce of credit card debt. Easily. I simply do not want to do that anymore. That's it. And I've heard the saying before that when you start to do things for yourself and you walk along a journey that is true to you, it may rub some people the wrong way. Well, hey, all I can say is I can confidently say I've never sat here and I didn't tell anybody that you shouldn't stand in lines to be able to get a shoe that you want, or that you shouldn't chase after a shoe and put in the footwork. You do what you need to do for the shoes you want. I simply am not doing the most in every and anything to be able to get a shoe in 2025. I'm not. That doesn't take away from you being able to do anything. But one of my favorite creators actually spoke on this just in relation to some of the realities in sneakers and people chasing after them. And she said, you know, you may not be able to reason with people, so let's let her say it.
And they will be in line in the rain, sleet, and snow about some shoes. They can tell you about all the latest drops. They know who got what. They know where they can resell them, who's going to resell them, how they can get a better price, all these things, this obsession with shoes. But some of those same people, you can't talk to them about trying to be better in life, trying to progress, trying to do things to excel. They're not interested. But if you're talking about shoes, some of y'all know what I'm talking about. They will be outside, rain, sleet, and snow. Some people will even fight people over the Jordans and risk going to jail over some shoes. And like he said, who is really profiting off of that? But I guess it don't matter as long as you look good, right?
Again, Simone is one of my favorite creators. She makes commentary on, you know, personal finance and just amazing discussions that should be had, and maybe they just aren't had a lot within footwear, and I get that. I'm happy to continue to have those conversations, but it does baffle me sometimes when me choosing not to do something triggers somebody and rubs them the wrong way. I never said you couldn't. So if you camped out, if you did the most to be able to get the Air Jordan 12 flu game, I love that for you. If you were able to secure your pair, I really do. I love it. I know a lot of people took L's and that's unfortunate, but I love the fact that in my recent video, if you haven't watched that, please check it out. A lot of you said you secured the very sneaker you wanted. And again, I'm so happy for you. So with all that being said, act your age, not your shoe size. Peace.